Good morning, everyone.
Good
Nice to
morning. Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Good
Good
morning.
morning, sir. Good
Morning,
morning,
sir.
sir.
see you. Good to see you all. Good morning. Thank you very much for having me. It's an honor, and I feel very very proud listening to all the things that have been said since morning. Thank you, Samira, very much for being so patient. Miss Samira Fernandez, for being I'm being rather casual, I must say, for being so patient with me and following up to for me to be here. I hope I didn't give you too much trouble, Samira. All right, so I'm starting my stopwatch because I've been told that they're going to run like clockwork. So don't speak too much. That's no, I'm joking. I'm pulling your leg, of course. A few smiles will help me in the morning. It'll be very nice to see lots of smiles. Yeah, Ragini, that's sweet of you, Sri Ram Sahab. Farzane, are you Irani by any chance? Oh yeah, Farza. See, I can spot one a mile away. There you go. Ashish Balal. My God, what an honor to meet you, sir. What an honor to meet you. Everyone here, there are so many illustrious people, so many people who I admire. But since I have a certain amount of time allotted to me, I'm going to make my speech not sound like a speech, but like a sharing, if you will. So I'm going to give you tell it to you in three segments, three very short segments. Talk about I was born in 1959, so don't calculate. All those mathematicians immediately started figuring out, okay, so he's okay, yeah, you know my age. I was born in 1959. I was born in the December of 1959, but my father, unfortunately, passed away in the May of 1959. So I was born what is known as posthumously, 6 months after the death of my father. So I was born into this family with my mother, three older sisters. Their friends, five aunts on the maternal side, four on the paternal side. So I was surrounded by women and very, very protected and mollycoddled. And because of that, I lacked a lot of confidence. I found it difficult to communicate with the male form. So whenever a male with a big baritone voice walked into the house, I used to get scared because I was only surrounded by women who protected me. And it didn't help. It may have helped in a way that I understood women better. The female side in me is pretty strong. I'm not afraid to say it. Nevertheless, I had a speech defect. I used to stutter, stammer, and lisp very much like Virus of 3 Idiots. I used to talk like that. And every time I used to speak like that, people used to laugh. And every time people used to laugh, I used to feel there's something wrong with me. And I'm damaged goods, and why am I being so protected? Why is everybody calling me Bichara Baman? I was called Bichara Baman. Bichara back up in Gujarat and in the north means poor fella. Nevertheless, my mother wanted to give me a great education, so she took me to the best school in Bombay then, of course, for admission. She was a shopkeeper, by the way. Let me have everyone's faces. I like to see everyone's faces then, rather than my own silly big mug up there. So she took me to St. Mary's School, Jesuit school, and the principal was a Spaniard Jesuit called Father Molinet, and he was the kindest man, the kindest man I've ever known, the kindest voice and the kindest face. And he told my mother, Mrs. Irani, you don't have to worry about anything. I know that the circumstances, and you've been struggling with your little shop and these kids, 4 kids, no husband. We'll give your son admission, but we have to take a little mandatory test. So she says, yeah, of course. So he made me sit over there, was very kind, and showed me photographs of animals and said, all he's got to do is identify the animals, and he's in St. Mary's. Simple, right? Hold on. Well, he showed me the photograph of a horse, but to say horse, it has an S in it, so I would have to horse. Now, if I said that, he would think that something's wrong with me. So what I did was, Ashish, I just kept shut. I said, he's giving me admission. So what? Just keep quiet. Don't say horse. I don't want you to laugh. I don't want to think there's something wrong with me, I was so nervous. Then he didn't answer. My mommy's pinching me in the backside, she's pinching me on the bum and she's saying, come on, speak, say, That didn't happen. So she said, okay, don't worry. He showed me another photograph. He showed me the photograph of a mouth. Now, if I had said mama, very stuttering, stammering, squeaking like a mouse, and with the tongue sticking out because there's an S in it, he wouldn't have given me admission, I thought. So I didn't answer. And he looked at me and said, son, you don't know. Yeah, needless to add, I didn't get admission. I did not get admission at St. Mary's. My mother, she cried and cried in the taxi. She cried, why didn't you answer? I said, no, I was being smart. Little fella, being smart. All these complications in the head that kids think they know better. But about 10, 12 days later, my mother received a phone call. She received a phone call from Father Molinet and said, Mrs. Irani, I have failed. I have failed. I'm an educationist. I mean, I should know better than that. Think about it. And he was so sweet to my mother. I couldn't hear, but this is a story my mother tells me. And he says, Mrs. Irani, which child doesn't know what a horse is? Which child doesn't know what a mouse is? Of course he knows. He's just shy. He's just protected. You send him to St. Mary's School, Mrs. Irani, and I will make a man out of him. And he gave me admission. And I will be always grateful for that. And I'll tell you why I'm saying this. I'm not saying it just so that I honor my school. Yes, ma'am. Point noted. Okay. Reason why I'm telling you this story. Never judge by its cover. Give every kid a chance.
Okay.
There is a potential in every child.
Okay. So how's your grandson?
You'll have to mute back everyone, please. Console, you'll have to mute back everyone, please.
He had C-section, is it?
So the point I'm making is that give everyone a chance. Don't judge a book by its cover. And there is hope for everyone. I learned when I went to school, I had problems with learning. Dyslexia, dyscalculia, not dysgraphia, by the way. And I just could not understand numbers. Even today, you tell me a number and ask me to recall that number. Even if it's a number 14, I'll not remember it. 5 minutes later, I'll say another number. I don't remember numbers. I don't understand concepts of arithmetic, basic, simple arithmetic sometimes. But the point is, when you are dyscalculic and dyslexic, the good old days in the 60s, that used to be considered as, there was a scientific term for it. The scientific term for dyslexia was duffer back in the 60s. Thanks to the movies and thanks to Amir Khan for making Tare Zameen Par, that people, parents, teachers, educationists even, are more and more conversant with the simple concept of dyslexia, dyscalculia, dysgraphia, and other learning disabilities. We test our children on subjects that we think they should excel in. Some children might have mathematical intelligence, some might have general academic intelligence, and some children might have artistic intelligence. You've got to tap into that, not just necessarily rubbish the child that does not have mathematical intelligence. Don't judge kids by how well they do in maths alone. Judge them by their potential and what they will be in the world that they will face after you finish their education. And not for a minute am I saying anything about children who are academically inclined. God bless you. But there is a warning sign there, that when you are academically inclined, you might excel in institutions, but please be careful, because when you go out in the big world out there, you might use that academic achievement as a sword. And don't do that. because you have to grow even after you leave college, school, and even post-graduation. You have to grow and you have to succeed in life. So if you swing it as a sword in front of everybody, you might end up cutting yourself or maybe chopping off your own neck. Just be careful of that. What you need to do is have, apart from academic intelligence, you have to have people skills, ethics, and kindness to take you a long, long way. I went through life having dreams of being on stage, in front of the camera, of being a photographer, being in the arts. And the moment I fulfilled my responsibilities to my family, I took on that journey. It's taken me time, but there are no such things as timelines. You make the timelines yourself. You fulfill every dream that you have of achieving what you want to achieve in this lifetime. I just want to make one more point before I go. Is day before yesterday, my friends, day before yesterday, I was invited to an institution. And I'd love to say it's not very different from yours, but it was a school of special children. It was a school of special children, and children with all kinds of special needs. Children who can't speak too well, with different kinds of conditions, born with certain, I don't want to describe it, but they are only special. They are actually no different from us. They are just slower, mighty slower than what we may be. And I was there and I was joking with all of them, and we were laughing and we were having the time of our life. And we did a little bit of dance together. They sang a little out of tune. They spoke with a huge slur sometimes. Some of those kids, because of their condition, their growth, they may not have eyebrows or hair, and their faces may be what we may consider not proportionate, if you know what I'm saying. We consider ourselves proportionate. To me, they are even proportionate. That's the way God made them. They are proportionate. They are proportionate. And there was this lovely little moment where I took to this little girl. She was very, very big in size. Her name was Nilufer. And she was laughing away, showing me her teeth, and she didn't have hair and she didn't have eyebrows, and she was laughing and joking and cracking, making fun of me and talking about my movies, and with not much clarity, but I was getting it. So I spoke to the principal after the event. And I said, I just love that Nilufer. She thinks she's fantastic. She's fabulous. She's fabulous. And I said, tell me a little more about her. And this is the story that I want to end my talk with. She said, the principal said, you may not know this, but I'm a very shy person and a terrible public speaker. And I have great fear of speaking. And for all my events, I don't speak, I make somebody else speak. And Nilufer came up to me and said, ma'am, why don't you speak? So she says, because I'm very shy and I have stage fright. So she says, ma'am, you're the principal. Say, yeah, but it's okay. Say, no, don't have stage fright. And don't be afraid. So then what do I do? Saying, you must imagine, this is this kid who has complex issues. She told her, whenever you speak to the public, think that you're speaking only to me. Nilufer is standing in front of you and you speak only to Nilufer. And you see how you speak. Now, my point here is that yes, we learn in school, college, and books, but we can also, throughout our lives, learn something from everybody and anybody. Never stop learning. This story resonates in 500 different ways. You take away what you want from it. Nilufer's story, to teach you, never discount anybody. Do not treat them that they are, not as bright as you, because I think this was a brighter thing said by any human being to a person who snapped out her fear thanks to this special child called Nirufa. I think it was the greatest lessons that I learned. I just want to add and conclude. I was not a great student. Maybe that was the reason why I haven't stopped learning. I haven't stopped learning because I was not a great student. And I used to feel everyone used to call me duffer, 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 duffer. Today I'm speaking in front of a college. 7 years ago, I started learning a new craft of screenwriting. And today, right through this lockdown, I have now completed 109 sessions of teaching screenwriting every single day. Soon after this, I'll switch myself off and I'll go to my class and I teach. And while teaching, and every teacher on this panel will agree with me, we are learning. Teaching is learning. Teachers are wonderful people. Teachers also learn, only then can they teach you more. So my point is, at the age of 61, there, I've given you the mathematical calculation. I remember that number. I wish to direct my own film. I wish to write my own film. I will debut this year or next, or the next year as a film director. At the age of 61 or 62, doesn't matter. Nobody makes the rules about at what age you want to do what. And I'm proud of it. I want to be proud of all of you. And I'm very proud to be here with all of you. Thank you, Samira, for inviting me. Thank you all. God bless you. Thank you. Exactly 15 minutes.
That was an amazing experience listening to you, sir. What an exemplary narration. I'm sure this would be a great inspiration to all of us in educating the next. Ups and downs are a part of everyone's life. It is I that can bring a change. Thank you very much, sir, for such useful guidance. We shall ever be grateful for your great ideas. I'm sure it would go a long way in guiding the youngsters in their path, in their career. Thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation and being a part of this event to make it all a memorable time. Thank you very much, sir. And I would request everyone to give a thumbs up to Mr. Boman Irani, sir, and please give a big round of applause for him for being with us. Thank you very much, sir. I would request everyone to give a big round of applause for him. Thank you very much for your time, sir.
Thank you. These special children, when they applaud like this. They applaud, they say thank you like this, and they applaud like this. Thank you. That was nice.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.